The floating palace of House Velyara sparkled like a jewel above the clouds of Nethoria. Silver towers, crystal windows, glowing gardens. Everything looked perfect from the outside. But inside one quiet room, at the highest point of the palace, sat a young alien princess who hadn't walked in 15 years. Her name was Princess Elani, heir to the throne of the Lunari people. And she lived her life in a wheelchair made of soft light and metal vines. Elani rolled herself to the balcony window, staring down at the world she could never touch. Her legs were thin and weak, wrapped in silk coverings. A childhood accident, an explosion in the royal shuttle, had damaged her nerves forever. No alien doctor, no science, no healer had been able to repair her body. And so the people whispered, "The princess is broken. She will never walk. A ruler must stand tall, how can she?" Elani heard the whispers every day. She smiled in public. But inside she carried a storm. Tonight, the palace was hosting a grand celebration. Famous scientists, royal leaders, and even a few visitors from distant worlds. Among those visitors was a human engineer named Ethan Ward. He didn't belong to royalty or wealth. In fact, he looked completely ordinary. Simple jacket, simple smile, tired eyes. But he carried something no one else in the galaxy had: brilliant, human stubbornness, and a reputation for fixing the impossible. The 3 to 4 minute hook begins. Elani moved to the grand hall in her wheelchair. Elegant aliens bowed to her. Some smiled with pity. Some pretended not to stare, and Ethan saw all of it. He watched the princess roll quietly through her own celebration like a guest instead of a ruler. She looked lonely, tired, and resigned to her fate. He couldn't explain it, but something inside him refused to accept what he saw. A guard whispered in Ethan's ear, "Do not approach the princess. She is special, but fragile." Ethan ignored the warning. He walked toward her. Elani noticed him approaching. She straightened slightly. "You are not allowed to." Ethan knelt beside her wheelchair. "Your Highness, may I ask something?" Elani blinked in surprise. No one knelt before a seated princess. "What is it?" she said softly. Ethan studied the wheelchair structure. "Why hasn't anyone built you new legs?" The crowd around them gasped. Guards stepped forward. Elani raised a hand, stopping them. She looked at Ethan with calm, sad eyes. "Because no technology in the Lunari Empire can repair my nerves." Ethan shook his head. "Doesn't need to, what?" she asked. Ethan placed a gentle hand on the metal frame. "Your legs aren't the problem. The problem is that everyone gave up." Elani's breath caught. No one had spoken to her like that in 15 years. Ethan continued, "I can build something. Something that works with your body instead of trying to change it." Elani stared at him. "You sound very confident for someone who does not know me." He smiled. "I don't need to know you to see what you've lost." Her eyes softened, pain and hope mixing like light and shadow. "Human," she whispered, "do not give me false hope." Ethan met her gaze. "I don't deal in false hope. Only solutions." And that was the moment everything changed. He starts to build the IMPOSSIBLE. The Royal Council thought Ethan was insane. "Do you want to strap metal legs on the princess? You want to risk breaking her further? Human technology is primitive." Ethan ignored all of them. He worked day and night in a workshop inside the palace, cutting metal, shaping alloy, adjusting energy circuits. Human tools, Lunari materials, experimental designs. He tested again and again. He refused to sleep. Elani visited him, secretly every night. She watched him work with steady hands and bright eyes. One night she asked, "Why are you doing this? You do not even know me." Ethan paused. You deserve to stand. Alani's voice was small. I haven't stood since I was 5. He turned toward her. Then we start from 0. Alani looked down at her legs. What if I fall? Ethan smiled gently. Then I'll catch you. Her heart fluttered strange, warm. Frightening. No one had ever spoken to her like she wasn't fragile. The first SDP weeks passed. At last, the robotic legs were ready. Smooth silver frames. Blue energy veins. Sensors that matched her nerves. A perfect blend of human stubbornness and Lunari beauty. Ethan placed the device around her legs carefully. Alani's hands trembled. Ethan, if this fails, he put a finger on her wrist. It won't. She swallowed hard and nodded. Ethan activated the system. A faint hum filled the air. Alani felt something she had forgotten existed. Pressure, strength, sensation. Her legs were waking up. Ethan whispered, Alani, try to stand. She looked at him with fear. He held out his hand. She took it. Slowly. Carefully. Shakily. She pressed her feet to the floor. Her knees trembled. Her breath caught. The world spun. And then she stood. For the first time in 15 years. Alani gasped, tears filling her glowing lavender eyes. The palace guards froze. Servants dropped their trays. The council stared in disbelief. Alani lifted her head high. I'm standing. Ethan wiped a tear from his own eye. Told you. But Alani wasn't done. She took a small step, then another. Then she walked slow, shaky, beautiful steps across the room. Everyone fell silent. Every heart stopped beating for a moment. Every whisper died. The princess was walking. Ethan whispered, You're incredible. Alani turned, tears running down her cheeks. No, Ethan. You gave me back my life. The emotional ending that night. The Lunari Empire changed forever. The story spread across the galaxy. A human helped a princess walk. Human technology succeeded where alien genius failed. Alani walked in the grand hall again, this time not alone. Not seated, not defeated. She walked beside Ethan. The crowd bowed deeply. Alani squeezed Ethan's hand and whispered, Stay with me. Always. Ethan smiled softly. If you'll have me. Alani's voice trembled. Ethan, will you walk with me for the rest of my life? He looked into her glowing eyes. Always. And as she took her next confident step, the galaxy whispered a new legend. A human didn't just heal a princess. He lifted an empire.